I'm Thomas Cox, and you know what's cool? Pizza. But you know what's also cool? Ghost ships. So that's what I'm going to talk about. Ghost ships. So, first, phantom ships. The Encyclopedia of Ghosts and Spirits defines phantom ships as ghostly ships that are commonly linked to disasters and shipwrecks. They usually appear at the scene of the disaster and may reenact their wrecks, especially on stormy nights. Phantom ships are what usually comes to mind whenever someone thinks about a ghost ship. They are the wraiths of sunken ships, and they tend to haunt the area where they sunk. However, there are some, like the Flying Dutchman, that are seen all over the world. They come from seemingly out of nowhere and appear to move on their own without any apparent crew. Kind of eerie. Dolce, punishment ships. These are ships where sailors who have died at the sea or just were terrible human beings go to be eternally punished, essentially. There are, however, two types of punishment ships. The first one are giant, tangible punishment ships, kind of like Naglfar in the Norse mythology. And the other one are intangible phantom ships, like the Flying Dutchman. In Norse mythology, Naglfar is the transport of chaos that Loki pilots during the events of Ragnarok, bringing the condemned to battle. It's also made out of fingernails and toenails. Since it has to hold all of the dead, it's got to be pretty big. Super big. The Flying Dutchman is a phantom ship doomed to sail the ocean forever. The captain was an evil and blaspheming old man, and whenever God came to visit him, the captain just shot at him with a gun, and then tried to beat him up. That's a bad idea. Punishments to the sea captain were: gall shall be your drink, and red-hot iron your meat. Of your crew, only your cabin boy shall remain with you. Horns shall grow out of his forehead, and he shall have the muzzle of a tiger, and a skin rougher than a dogfish. And since it is your delight to torment sailors, you shall torment them. For you shall be the evil spirit of the sea, and your ship shall bring misfortune to all who sight it. 3. Devil ships. These are ships that are cursed because they are made by demons, or even made by Satan himself. They could be phantom ships, but they don't have to be phantom ships. Some of them are fully tangible. In the case of the Kaiser's haunted submarine, the Submarine was the devil ship. She was cursed with continuous failures, accidents, problems, and death. One day, while the submarine was topside, a crewman just walked out into the ocean for no apparent reason. On another day, she floated to the seabed as part of a routine test, but then her engine stopped working and she couldn't get back up.
I've sunk and I can't get up.
Water leaked into her hull and got into her batteries, which released deadly fumes throughout the entire submarine. When the crew was almost more dead than alive, the submarine resurfaced and they all let in a breath of fresh air. The crew also kept seeing the ghost of the former second lieutenant, who was killed while the submarine was sitting in harbor loading torpedoes on. One of the torpedoes went off, killed the second lieutenant and 5 other crewmen. An account of this ghost goes: an hour or so passed without any unusual occurrence. Then, shaking with fright, his face pale with terror, the starboard lookout screamed to the first lieutenant, "Look! Look! The ghost! Its arms are folded like Peterson described, silent, not moving. Though the seas sweep across the ship, it's not one of us. It's the dead second officer." Noticeably shaken himself, the first lieutenant shouted to the mysterious figure on the bows. The figure turned round and stared at the officer, who could see in the fading light the features of his dead colleague, now lying buried in the naval cemetery at Wilhelmshaven. The first lieutenant summoned the commander, and both men watched until the phantom disappeared. Now that's spooky. If you want to learn more about this kind of thing, check out the books Wander Ships by Wilbur Bassett and Phantoms of the Sea by Raymond Lamont Brown.
And this is the Mariole and Toodles.
Shaking with fright, his pale face with terror,